What's happening, my friend?
Hey, Dave, that was our shortest intro yet. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. How's it going?
It's good. So thank you, everyone. Dave Cooper Live. My name is Mark Willie. We're joining you later in the day because a whole lot has happened, and we're pleased you could join us. How about that?
Yeah, we are pleased you can join us. Mark, I'm still in an airport, man. I've been in an airport since 8 o'clock this morning, still in one, but I'm close. I'm only 100 feet away from a door to where my mom has the pleasure of picking me up so we can go have a nice dinner and taking me home tonight.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm glad PGH has a Dave Cooper. So for all the folks, right? For all the folks that were here for Adam White of Intelligent Membranes, Alex White of Passive Purple. That has been rescheduled. You know, London time is a different time for us. But right now, we're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and
I don't know which ones you said because you broke up. I'm going to say LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and what did I miss? Facebook?
LinkedIn.
I did say LinkedIn.
Yep.
Hey, you're back on LinkedIn too. They slapped your hand today, Mark.
You know what's interesting is I think while we're speaking, as I was posting, I think I've been booted again. This is a wild ride because I was just posting again, Dave. This is crazy.
Wow.
I think it just happened really before my very eyes right now.
Maybe it's just your internet slow.
Okay.
All
All right. So we're turning things around, folks. There's a whole LinkedIn thing to be filled in. Let's hope it didn't happen again. But we're going to have a couple guests join us that we're going to do the intro for Adam and Alex White. So
we are going to do that.
Dave?
Yeah, but I also want to let you know, Mark, I just looked. You are still up on LinkedIn. You are there. So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Don't worry about it.
There's a thing that happened, so we'll see how that is.
All right. So listen, we got a ton going up. I just was in Denver for ECI, so hopefully we'll be able to give everybody an update on that this upcoming week. But we do got some special guests waiting in the wings, and this is going to be a short show. They only have a few minutes each, and I got to get home as well. But we have not missed a BS Friday in 2+ years, and we're not going to miss one today, and that's why we are doing this at this time. On the East Coast, it's 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock where you're at, right, Mark? And I guess 2 o'clock on the West Coast.
2 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Atlantic time, 5 o'clock Eastern. It's so cool to do at a special hour, Dave.
It is. It really is. What's up, Joel? What's up, Rob? Thanks for tuning in real quick. We love you guys. All right, let's get to it. Who do we want to bring in first?
Okay. How about let's bring in John first because John has a small window of time.
John Knapp, what's happening, my friend?
How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all.
Yeah, it's good to see you as
Friday.
well. It is a good BS Friday.
John joined us briefly during the FIASCon conference. Dylan Ingue, shout out to you as well, somewhere in Brooklyn, probably.
Yeah.
And John, thanks for joining us live. I wish I was standing next to you at a place called Miller's, but we're not. So let's take a minute and introduce yourself, my friend.
The floor is yours.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. If you saw the live session we did at FIAS, you'd know that we just launched Source 2050 at FIAS a week and a half ago. Source 2050 is a multi-vendor marketplace for passive house products. Mike Ingue and I are the founders. We've been working on it for over a year, talking to vendors, talking to architects and contractors, and built it really collaboratively to make sure it was going to be useful. And judging from the reception at FIAS, I think we hit a lot of those marks. There's people that were pretty excited about just the kind of basic out of the gate functionality, being able to search and filter by specifications through all manner of envelope categories, membranes, insulation, thermal breaks, tapes, etc. And then to be able to create spec lists of those products that can be shared. So it allows an engineer, a specifier, architect to assemble a spec list, it's lined up with their drawings, and then hand that over to the contractor, so you don't have a situation where the contractor got the materials or doesn't know where to get them, and they're left to their own devices to try to find a contact or distributor or somebody. Those days are over. All there in one place, and really easy for them to purchase everything directly. Everything there is priced for sale. Shipping, last mile delivery, job site logistics, all of that's included. So we're really pretty excited about what we were building. Confirmation of the reception we got in Chicago, and there's been a ton of activity in the last 10 days, and we're pretty excited about where this is going to go.
You're going to be as big as Amazon. I can see it now. Just remember us little guys.
Yeah. Well, it's really it was designed to work for those that are in that community, right? So if we haven't built something that's useful, then there was no point in building it. So we really took that seriously. We were not kind of coming up with a solution that we were going to just drop on the industry and say, use this. It was really, starting with that process of what sucks about the current process, what's the thing that frustrates you the most, to everybody in the process, to the vendor side, to the specifier side, to the contractor side. If we did this, would you use it? And what would you have to do if you would? And that's how we built it. So hopefully we've checked those boxes.
It's a beautiful name as well, John. Right? There's so many on the global marketplace. There's so many people striving for architecture 2030, right? And different energy benchmarks and sustainability goals for 2035, 2040, 2050, and reaching to that date is a great placemaker for today, right? And we're all going to blink because we know where we were in 1995, right? And so I applaud you for the name. It lands for me right away, and I'm a really big fan of clean, crisp logos, and you achieve that as well. So it's a good balance point.
Yeah, I mean, the name speaks for what the target is. Why we're doing this. If we're going to decarbonize the built environment, it's got to be scalable. So it's got to be easier to find out how to build this way, and it's got to be easier to find the products that you need to build this way. So that was always the sense. It's mission driven in that way. We work closely with the Passive House Accelerator, where we're really trying to, part of the experience of participating there is you see, as someone presents this really, really great project, the number one thing that comes up in the Q&A in the comments section is, what did you use, for air tightness there? What was that insulation? Where did you get it? Do you have a phone number for your distributor?
Right.
So that's really, where we saw there is a real need for a marketplace. As far as the branding, it was always sort of our view that we're not about us, we're about who's available through us. So we wanted the source, branding itself to kind of be quiet and take a back seat to the products, which is really service.
How many products do you currently have, John?
We have 187 SKUs, coming from 25 vendors. And just since FIAS, we're in the middle of conversations that could well double that, honestly, by the end of the year. We could be pushing 500 products, individual products, and 40 to 50 vendors by the end of the year. So it's growing quickly. And the number one thing we're asking people as they use it is if there's anything that's not there that you wish there was. If there's a product that it's really difficult for you to find, something that you wish even a category that we haven't been thinking about yet, that we should be focused on, let us know. Because that's really how everything that is there now got there. It was through those conversations. Like it's just impossible to find high PSI thermal break material. That was one of our early questions. So we went out and found some great solutions. We're working on a couple others too in that category. So let us be your problem solver. Let us know what's troubling you to find, and we'll get it for you.
That's so great. Dave, do you have any trips to New York planned? I know you're here, there, and everywhere.
Well, I don't. Right now, I'm kind of hoping I don't have to go anywhere until January 1.
Hmm.
It's been plane, trains, and automobiles, but I could have my arm, ticked and twisted a little bit. I will tell you, I am the type that once I go home, I get a couple days under me, I start getting antsy again. So, yeah, I'm always up for a New York trip. New York City or upstate New York.
John, you're outside of Brooklyn, right?
I'm in Brooklyn, yeah, but I'm upstate a little bit.
Oh yeah, right across the river.
Yeah,
across the river.
How about
we're on the Big Island?
Yeah, you're on the Big Island. Relative to time, John, because I know you have a hard stop as well with some things going on. How long are you with us?
I'm towards the end of the window. I'm going to probably have to drop off in a minute or two. But I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
How about we bring Michael in before you leave,
Sure.
so we get a continuation, and so for all the folks out there, you should be used to the face of Michael Ingui, and he's also a great friend of John's. So, and these are the two characters that didn't join us today.
I know it. What's happening, Michael?
What's going on, folks? Cheers. Happy
Good
Friday.
to see you. I know. I'm glad you guys all brought something to drink.
Oh. I just also decided I was going to give a really long presentation on something today, just to kind of extend your airport visit.
Yeah. Well, you can go right ahead. I'm going to be heading out of here. You can talk all you want.
I would too.
Mark will keep you going.
I have an empty glass with nothing but lemons left. I finished my water too soon, so
I will say I'm also on water right now. So I'll wait till we jump off, Dave. I won't do that to you.
I'm on John's realm. John's drinking some wine, and that looks pretty tasty to me.
Nice.
Well done.
Pretty good.
Well played. Well played.
How is everybody? Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride. John was just filling us in on the goings on over at Source 2050, as well as some predictions for next year. So a reminder, how do people get a hold of you, John? Both to enjoy the platform and to be a part of it.
Sure. So it's source2050.com. Pretty easy. You can go in and create an account. You can contact me, John, at Source2050. That's also pretty easy. And there's a bunch of links on the site. If you are a vendor that's interested in participating, there's a link there to send us your information and what you're working on, including if you know someone that's working on a new product that hasn't launched yet. We'd love to start having those conversations. We think it's a great platform for getting innovative products into the market. So if you're even in an early stage, maybe you're looking for help, we'd love to have that conversation. If you're mature, you're commercially available, we'd love to talk about how to get you on board. And if you're on the purchasing side or the specification side, you can go ahead and create an account. There's a little tutorial about how to use the spec list function. But you can also just email me, John, at Source 2050. I'm happy to answer any questions you have as well. Or Michael.
Yeah. Is this turning quickly into your full-time job, John?
Oh, it has been. It has been for some time. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. And what a great place to launch it, and get it up and going. And I hope you see quadruple all the stuff you have going in there.
I have to say, it's so much fun to see what John and the team at Source have been doing.
Yeah.
For me, I've wanted something like this to exist for so long, and it's kind of fun. I mean, not only just the manufacturers we all kind of knew about, we weren't 100% sure where to buy them, which is cool to have it on. But I am really excited about some of these newer vendors coming in, who are someone who's got a product, they don't know how to get it to market, or they've got solutions. I mean, all the time we're always in, you guys are traveling around a lot. You're on these lives all the time. You're always hearing about this product or that product. You're like, well, where do I get that thing? I want that. So for me, it's also kind of like a little bit of an outlet. I'm like, call John. He'll put it on. So it's been really it's pretty cool to have a place where just that thing can live, so other people can find it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Maybe we should start doing product reviews on the show of John's new products, Mark.
I vote 100%.
Right?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Kind of weekly updates, or bi-monthly maybe. We don't want to go over ambitious. Maybe bi-monthly.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, it's a lot of it's a real opportunity, you know, honestly, for especially for smaller companies that are coming in that have, you know, big incumbents that everybody knows in those categories. Early on, I had a conversation with someone in that space that was kind of upset to hear that the big you know, segment incumbent was already on board. Like, oh, we have to be, you know, competing with those guys. I said, you should be so excited that you're listed next to this big hulking, you know, incumbent that you're fighting with on their this massive marketing budget, and you're scrappy, right? And every other forum, they're beating you out. But here, you finally have an opportunity to be listed side by side and be able to be compared by the actual specs. And if you've got a better product, you know, this decision should be based on data transparency and the actual merits of your product, not the marketing budget. So you should welcome this opportunity to be stacked up side by side by these guys that are beating you out just because they've got the boots on the ground to go to job sites, and while you don't. Like, this is a real opportunity to introduce transparency into the process and kind of democratize the process. So
kind of reminds me of how it was at FESCon, John. You know, we had a whole bunch of competing vendors hanging out together at the booth, all talking to each other about their products and what they're doing, how they're making it, and their supply chain. And it was kind of fun. It was like, these are people who compete. So again, it's a cool thing about the Passive House world. Everybody just wants this. There's a lot of product that wants to get to market. There's a big market, and it should be a bigger market. But having the small person on the site, like the way John was describing, and the big boys in the same place, it's kind of cool. But I would say that was one of my favorite things about the booth at FIAS, John. Just watching you talking to the different vendors, and you know they're competing, but and they're just openly talking about their products. It was it's refreshing in the construction industry.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's also, you know, from what we heard a lot when we were doing like the discovery process from the sourcing side, is like, for any given project, there may well be a better product out there. I just don't know, and I honestly just don't have enough time to go, because a lot of the vendors make the sourcing process, you know, the quoting process, so arduous that you're just not going to do it 2 or 3 times, you know, to get side by side level, estimates that you could level, you know, or bids that you could level next to each other. It's just like this. This is good enough. There may be a better product, maybe a more affordable product. I don't know. I just don't have the time. So this is what I do. And that kind of sucks, you know, for people trying to get into the market that have a better product. Like, how do we ever get the visibility? You know, especially when you start looking forward to, I think the number one thing people are asking for is embodied carbon ratings, like EPDs, and we're working on that. It's an initiative on the top of our plates, hoping for early next year. I think that's going to be really transformative, where you can look at products side by side and compare them, you know, membranes and tape and everything else, insulation, and you can compare them by EPDs. I think that's going to be kind of an eye opener. There's a lot of people that have been doing really well that are not going to look so great compared to some of the newer products that are coming in on that basis. And I think that's all for the good. And I think it's you know, the answer to that, if you're upset about losing sales to products with lower carbon, I think the answer there is fix your product. And so I think that's one way that we can really, you know, be an agent of change, right? To not just make it easier, but actually through better transparency in the market, encourage people to decarbonize their own products.
In a bird's eye view of the race, I think LCAs, life cycle analysis, EPDs, the environmental product declarations, and the carbon counting for embodied and operational. Ironically, I think those are going to be pretty well naturally involved in the process quickly, versus the Passive House code is still years behind that. So it's funny how the pole position shifts, and it's just amazing. And Dave was just in Switzerland, and I think the understanding of local and diverse products, as you mentioned, John, is going to be on the Swift up tank. We know who we saw at FierceCon. The marketplace doesn't know all these names, but that's why you need a place like Source 2050 to go to and say, I don't need to know this. Someone figured it out. Here it is, my black book.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what you were saying is, I know you got to jump, John, but this is my 2 cents on this. We're still so small as an organization, whether it's passive house builders, the products that are being used, that we're going to get further faster if we do collaborate, if we do talk and we do share that space on, Source 2050. If somebody really truly thinks they have the secret sauce, well, they should be Amazon at the construction space, and they're not. And I think, we have to get the word out, and we don't have Amazon budgets, but collectively together, we can make a big impact.
I think that's exactly right. And I would say, just think like on the looking ahead, EPD's top of our list. Also, it's really kind of part of the mission to elevate the conversation from individual products to solutions. And I think that's really the way this is going to scale. Right? If every single person that wants to build to passive for the first time has to create out of thin air, a wall package and decide, what products are going to adhere well. How is there going to be, how is moisture control going to work between this tape and this membrane layer and this all. If they have to redo that every single time, it's such a drag on expansion of the industry. If we can start creating proven packages and say like this was done, the project was certified, it worked well, and here are all the constituent parts of that detail from different vendors all together in one package available on Source 2050. You can just crib that and take that and scale it, do your takeoffs and resizing, and apply that to your project going forward. Then we really have the ability to really scale this, where you don't have to start from first principles. Every new team doesn't have to learn this from the bottom up. They can start at least by looking at what's been done, see proven solutions, adopt them for their project, and get up to speed that much faster. And really get to a place where there shouldn't be any reason between the material supply at that point and then the educational process that the accelerator and other sources are providing. It should be a much lower bar for a construction team to do their first passive project. That's really the goal, so that passive becomes more like normal construction.
Community over competition. Dave heard that a lot in Switzerland. You see that? It's a hashtag in my post from our friend Chris at Live Free Contracting. And John, I want to congratulate you for the Source 2050 launch. That's an endeavor to launch something the growth is needed. And I invite everyone to connect, join, give it a try, and give your input.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark and Dave. Thanks for inviting me on. I am at the end of my window. I feel a little less bad that Michael is here because I can just throw the baton virtually through. I go this way through the window. There you go.
Sounds good.
That way. Yeah, well, Michael's no stranger to this danger. He always steps in, prepared to shield himself from what may come at him. But it's always good stuff. So, John, appreciate you being on with us today, man. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the vino, and we look forward to seeing you out there next to Bezos and all the other ones.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Happy Friday.
Right.
Thank you, John.
Have a good one.
How cool is that?
He's great.
Great. That's better. You guys are balanced together.
There you go.
I was trying to see, Michael, I don't know if you heard us when you're in the green room. I was trying to see when Dave is going to be in Brooklyn next.
Dinner on me when you come in.
Oh, I love it. I'll be there tomorrow.
I'm quite good at eating. I've got that down. So,
do you have that down? Yeah.
Now, you two have something in common today, and I would say this might be the first time. You both have family and children in the state of Michigan today. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is Dylan in Michigan?
So no, Justin. So both Justin and Dylan are going to be going to University of Michigan. Justin started in September. He's doing vocal, doing
Okay.
opera, and dual major
awesome.
with political science. So Justin
Wow.
started. He's loving it there, loving it.
He sings
Uh,
opera.
Sings opera. It's got a great voice.
Yeah,
So I'm his
obviously.
dad.
Yeah.
I'm his dad. Of course I'm going to say it, but what he really does, he's got one of those voices. He just does. So he's loving it. Gotten a lot of solo opportunities already. So
Yeah.
he's loving Michigan. And then Dylan starts there in January.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing both music composition and something called urban technology, which
Right.
mixes a whole bunch of different things. I think he's been on. He's talked about that, and
Yeah.
he's working at PHI right now in Darmstadt,
Sure.
which is
Oh,
kind
that's
of fun.
fun. You know,
Yeah.
speaking of opera, do you remember the name of Anko? She won the America's Got Talent, the young girl.
Hmm.
So we grew up with her family and
Oh,
her and all
cool.
that. Her
Fun.
brothers, you know, my friends, her brother, you know, it's all thing of it. So I love watching it, man. It's amazing. You can do
Yeah.
opera. That's it for me. Like that's
Yeah.
the hardest. I think that's the hardest singing to do. It's got to be.
fun. So yeah,
I can't sing.
neither can I. It definitely skipped a generation.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. Both Justin and Dylan went to LaGuardia, to Performing Arts High School, and a lot of them would hang at our house, was the house that they all hung out at. And sometimes
Yeah.
you just listen to what they're singing downstairs,
Right.
and
Right.
you don't want to be the creepy parent and go down there, but at the same time, you just don't care. It just sounds so good that you just want to be like, what is that? Who's singing that? So it's pretty cool. But I have to say, Mark, it was great to see you in Chicago. It was, I mean, great. First of all, great talks. The T studs that were used for the booth were incredible, and it was kind of cool to see them in different areas. So I would say they were. It was cool seeing Purple Passive there too. I'm sorry they couldn't be on today. So it was just so nice to see everybody in person. Love this too, though.
Yeah.
There's a little known fact that we haven't come out and said it. Dave hasn't seen these yet, Michael, but Dave, I built the booth for the FierceCon show, but before that, on one of my visits to New York, Michael was actually given the first piece of custom furniture that I made of the product, and you have it displayed in your office.
I do it. Next time I'm on a live, I'm going to do it right next to it. People love it. It's we use it as both a coffee table and a kind of a bench to sit on right at the front window. It's cool.
I was really hoping that you were going to take it in your studio and give it like a custom New York kind of look, but the natural feel is very organic.
That will remain natural forever. It looks so good, Mark. I'm telling you. Everybody loves it. And it's a good conversation piece. People see it like, what's that? And then all of a sudden you're talking about T-stud. And
So a real New York look would be just set it outside. Somebody will graffiti it and then bring it back in.
There you go. So Dave, you'll get a kick out of when you go to New York and you're at Michael's office there. The view is spectacular. The walk around is spectacular. That's a good place for y'all to get together. Maybe you and John and whoever else you bring with you, Dave. I know you guys have tried to meet up before on one of Michael's projects, and of course Kevin's always doing something in the area. So let's hope for great continued weather and an excuse to get Dave Cooper in Michael John's backyard over in Brooklyn.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love to do it. You know, it'd be a lot of fun to come up there during the holiday time and see the lights and everything that happens in Manhattan as well.
That's a good time to do it.
That'd be a good reason to come up there.
Technically, you're in Manhattan, right? Yeah, you're right, Dave.
Offices in Manhattan. I live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Quick bike ride over the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's right. I want to get one of those one wheels like Andrew Seeley has. That's what I want.
Nice. I don't think I don't have the coordination to do that. I'm happy on two.
So, yeah, you have to do it.
with good brakes in Manhattan. So.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Rob Hoskins says, Rob, you know, I'm in Pittsburgh now. We need to meet up too as well. New passive multifamily in Pittsburgh just got tax credits for funding. Nice.
Cool. You go,
Very
Rob.
Good. Congratulations, man.
I love Pittsburgh.
Rob is on fire. It was, you guys know what it's like to be at a conference and connect with people firsthand. It was so exciting to see Rob because we got to spend good time together this summer when he was on a trip. He's on fire with what he's working on, and it's really nice to see the examples that these markets are doing. Philly's done it for years, and Pittsburgh has some incredible projects, Dave. the person to see these, right, from a testing standpoint, and Rob's also an architect. Dave, you would have such a blast with Rob. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's got
really
all the
talented.
cool tools.
Truly
He has all the
talented.
cool tools. I know it. But we're definitely going to hang out. Hey, what's up, Gilbert? Gilbert's joining us as well. Gilbert Meyer. Good to see you.
Cool.
Good.
Honduras. Nice.
Yeah, Honduras. Jen's giving some shout outs to Steve Basic for Veterans Day. Oh, and myself. All right. Well,
Yeah.
happy Veterans Day to Steve, you know.
Same to you too, Dave.
Yep. Thank you for your service. I feel like it's the day that we all have to remember why we live this free. And why we make the decisions that we can all have the arguments we like to have with each other. So
That's right.
we can do this for one reason. So.
You're welcome. And I will say the one of the things that I got out of the service was short hair, and since I'm going bald, it seems to continue to work in my favor.
I hear you.
I see comb over.
I see Matt Bloomquist.
Hey, we got Matt Bloomquist joining us today too. What's up, Matt?
Yeah.
Matt was incredible at FIASCon. He presented, Dave. There's a special first time ever track where both Matt and Dylan got to present. It was a youth bridge track. And I only got to stay for about 8 minutes of Dylan's, and I missed Matt's because of the overlapping schedules, as we know happens. But I tell you, I heard nothing but great things about Matt. I keep seeing it popping on. Yeah. And I told Michael the other day when I was in there for Dylan's part, I was standing next to Shannon in the back of the room because we had a presentation down the hall, and he gave that heartbreak moment. I mean, Dylan's got to be 19 years old. He gave a heartbreak moment about 8 minutes into his speech, and I swear, Dave, Shannon and I started crying. Like, he just nailed it. Like, wow, it's not an easy thing for a presenter to deliver that way. And he delivered it in a high level of enthusiasm. The crowd was full. The crowd was thick. And those topics, you don't have to worry. Bridge track for the youth will be back next year. They haven't announced it. Community knows what will be back based on the feedback and the energy. And you see more posts about the track that the two of them are on than all the crazy energy graphs that go on, right? So beautiful.
It was great. Matt was great. They had a student on who's also talking about the wall competition, which was really wonderful. The whole track was good, and it's really well timed for that kid who was in, because he's kind of starting his professional career. It was good for Dylan to be there because Dylan's kind of starting his career kind of in college and so forth, and we're bringing them in early. So expanding that, bringing these kids in early so that when they get out there affecting the world and pushing us to do with what we should be doing. It's that was one of my favorite presentations. I mean, of course it's Dylan, but even without Dylan, with Matt and all that was just it was inspirational.
I don't want to overlook Thomas. That's a great point. So
Thomas was great.
Thomas was a student at Taylorville High School, and he went on to the local college to become a teacher. And he needed one more class in order to go, and there wasn't enough instructors. So Matt, his high school instructor, became a college instructor to teach the final college class, and now he's a high school teacher in his old pro. Like, these stories you can't make up. This
and then Thomas is now teaching kids that he knew when he was in high school.
It's amazing.
And you can't, and you know what, kids like to learn from someone that young and someone with that level of knowledge. And, it's just, you're getting them hurt. You're getting them young. So Thomas, it's going to affect him forever. He's just going to keep growing exponentially.
Yeah. He has a crowd of people that know him and he doesn't know them. And Connor Malloy was there, who was a part of the wall assembly competition.
Yep.
So for the folks that don't know the names we brought up, it's fine. You don't have to worry about the names, but you should look them up. The point is, the example of what each of them done is now the example that can be replicated anywhere, anytime. It's already figured out, right? You don't have to figure it out. So you just bring this to your community, you bring this to your school board, and you say, this is working there. This is how they do it. This is how we will do it with our students. This is how we will do it with our students, right? Very important. You don't have to figure it out. It's there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think, when I come up to New York to visit you, Michael, I'm going to see if I can bottle some of your DNA, right? Because
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful. You only hear about the good stuff when you're on these things.
You and your wife. I'm just gonna bottle some of that up and take it with me. I bet I could get a lot of money for it.
And good point by bringing up the wife too, right? It's all the people on our network that make community work. And
True.
Whatever you call family, that's
Mhm.
important. I can't wait for you two to hang out. I'll probably be there virtually, but
Yeah,
you never know.
we're
Dave's
gonna-
got so many shows going up. It's a good point. We need to have a whole show planning our 2023 because people ask, right? They'll ask you, Dave. They'll ask you, Michael. They'll say, where should I go? Where are you guys going next?
Yeah.
Because this interconnectedness is pretty electric.
Yeah, and also you're just having people meet everybody virtually, and all of a sudden, what's happened in 22 and 23 is now we're seeing each other in person.
Yeah.
And although it's just the virtual experience is great, it just that connected moment is great. And so just knowing where you can do both. I mean, because honestly, there's stuff that you can share virtually that's very difficult to do in person. So having the combination of the two is nice.
That's a beautiful point. So, Dave, during FierceCon, we do the accelerator on Wednesday night, and we did it live in person. And for full transparency in front of you, Michael, and the world, it is 1,000 times easier to do a show virtually when we could chat each other, when we can work the angles, when we can hide notes. When you have a room full of 14 people and you're coordinating the guests in and out, and everyone has to be quiet and it's in a loud surrounding, boy, that's a tough thing to do. But the people that helped us do us are obviously pros. Everyone was careful and it was good. But man, I tell you, I'll do these virtual shows all day long. And Dave brought up a point earlier that you didn't hear, Michael, when we were live this morning, is the other part is when you're presenting and moderating at conferences, it's very hard to enjoy a conference.
Yeah, you miss half the sessions.
Time.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite FierceCons because I did not present. I mean, Dylan did, which was great. I got to see him. John had the source booth taken care of. Zach and the team had the accelerator booth taken care of. So not only did I get to mingle with a lot of people, which I really enjoyed, but I got to go to a lot of the talks, which was great. And it was and just people I haven't seen forever or only met virtually. Yeah, including Alex and Adam.
Yeah, they were there as well.
And they're fun. So
I can only imagine how much fun they are. I had an idea, Mark.
Yeah.
The source 2050, that would be a great product for the startup zone at IBS in front of 100,000 contractors walking around. In the startup zone, they give you a free booth there, not a free booth. They give you the booth, they give you the TV, they give you everything you need, and it's like $2,500. You should know, what was it, $2,500 or something?
Yeah, there was an email that went around. The price is really absorbable. And an important thing for people to realize is those opportunities are on quite a grand stage. I think, Dave, am I out of line by saying it's 100,000 plus people this year?
Yeah, it should be 100,000 plus.
I'm going to look into that with John. That's kind of cool.
Well, just reach out to me, Michael, because I'm helping them try and find innovative things for that. So
it's a perfect one for John for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
One, because we just, I'd say the other part of FierceCon that I loved, which I'm sure IBS is going to be full of, we made so many connections for other people through the source booth, different vendors, meeting another person who's a distributor. So that sounds great. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll reach out to you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
We should have a powwow. Dave doesn't have the motorhome anymore. It would be nice to take a road trip together to IBS, but Dave will probably be at IBS early for all the goings on there. So Michael, it's, what is it, Dave? January 31st through February 2nd?
Cool. Yeah, I think through the February 2nd or February 3rd, but yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what? We'll try to put something in. I'll look it up when I'm off this thing.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
We're gonna
something
be
tells
there.
me you might have an email about it already, Michael. Something
Oh, really?
tells me. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I haven't done that yet because I'm holding my laptop with one hand while I sit here. But I will tell you, yeah.
Are
just
you
shoot
really,
me-
by the way?
Yes.
Because I got to tell you, that's pretty steady.
Well, I got
If-
something on. Yeah, it's half held.
Yeah, because if it was me, I'd be,
Huh?
everybody would be getting dizzy.
You know, the
Mhm.
thing
Yeah.
about being a combat medic, Michael, is Dave is always prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm a duck, man. I'm calm on top, but I'm paddling like hell underneath.
It's a good- I'm gonna steal that. I like that.
So,
That one
but-
never gets old every time you
I love
say it, right?
Mhm.
IBS is
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad this came up. It wasn't in my privy for today, and also Michael. And when we were recovering from FierceCon, because it's exhausting, folks, it is.
Mhm.
Dave was out in Greenbuild, where Tamara was, and Alexandre
Yeah.
de Gagne, right? So Mariana. So there's a lot of same people at these things, and Vegas is a whole different stage. You have
Yeah.
the Kitchen and Bath Show, you have the National Tool and Hardware Show,
Yeah.
and then National Association of Home Builders has one of the highest attendees and manufacturer bases, supplier bases of any North American show. So that's a
I think
colossal
about that. I think
floor.
about that for the accelerator as well. So yeah, oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for bringing that
Yeah,
up. And
yeah,
I've
absolutely.
actually never been to IBS. I've always wanted to. This is one of the first green builds I've missed.
Yeah,
But
was
my
it?
office would have killed me if I did that after FierceCon. I was out for a week for FierceCon.
Yeah.
We had design deadlines and got to do it.
Well, it's getting to that point now where we want to be everywhere, but things are conflicting, and you only have so much time, and you got real work still to do. So,
Yeah.
cool. I gotta get flying here. Literally.
Enjoy. Have a
I'm
good
done
night.
Flying. But,
We're at our time. I want to thank John from Source 2050 for being on the show. I want to thank Dave for his versatileness in between airports. I wish the girls good luck on the hockey tournament.
Thank you.
And for everyone out there, there's a show coming up next Friday. Kara Green, my good friend Jessica and her team. Scrolling over the bottom, Dave already has it. They're incredible. She's one of the longest running green I know. Kara Green's incredible. Please connect with Jessica and her team at Kara Green, and we'll be live next week, 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern. Thank you all, and please connect with Michael and John.
Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate seeing you again, and we'll get up to New York. Mark, I appreciate it. I'm not going to be here after the outro, so you guys have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye now.